Welcome, Scribers. This is my first tutorial on a Minecraft barn that I built in Derpville, and I wanted to do a tutorial on it so that you could see how I actually built it and maybe want to do that in your own build. This particular build uses spruce wood, oak wood, and in my Derpville I used dark oak wood, so that's the only difference between the two. So if you like that rich color of the dark oak planks and slabs and steps, certainly you can place all the spruce wood and spruce planks and steps with the dark oak. So let's get started. This particular build is a basic 13 by 13 building, but it expands to 15 by 15 when you add the overhang on the roof line. So you will start out with the basics of the first layer, and that is logs with planks in between, depending on the type of wood you want to use. I like to use the contrasting dark logs against the light oak, but certainly you can build it however you want depending on where you are at the world and if you're doing it in survival. So the first layer is oak planks, or I'm sorry, logs set apart by oak planks, 3 oak planks in the center of each log. So you go log, 3 oaks, log, leave a space open here. This will be the walkway through the barn, and then a log, 3 oak planks, and a log. And the same thing happens over there, except that you will put oak planks in between on that side. And then on the interior, you would just leave these open because that's going to be the area of your stalls. So I'm going to come up a little bit so you can see the pattern. It's a very simple pattern, quick and easy to build. The second layer here is additional logs on each of the posts, and then in between we add fences rather than planks. So let me go up so you can see the pattern, just adding additional log on each post area, and then fences in between. Third layer is we're going up on each of these posts up to 3 logs high, and then we add the oak planks in the center. So I'll pause right here so you can see what the third layer looks like. The fourth layer here, we're adding the ceiling and the flooring of the second floor loft area, and we're also adding these log segments that go from front to back and then from side to side. So above these posts you will add these logs, and then in between here you'll add logs, and then in between those I have planks in the front, but then as you go into the ceiling area I did slabs. That gives a little more height to your build inside so it doesn't look so cramped on the inside, and gives you a little bit more resources because you're using slabs rather than whole planks for the flooring. So this creates the flooring of the loft area, and then I also expanded the front a bit so that adds like a little balcony off of the front and the back. And the front and the back are basically exactly the same pattern. It's symmetrical on both sides. And then we add the 2 layers of slab rows here. So a slab along the top part of the log, and then above that area there. So it's the 2 rows of slabs on each side. And I'll go ahead and come up a little bit. So I'll pause here so you can get an idea of how to build it. Okay, the next 5th layer, we're adding the walls to the loft area. So it's planks with fences in between. This will leave a nice little open area there. And then it's the next layer for the roof line is steps on each side. And I will pause here so you can get a look at it. Now to the 6th layer. Again, we add another row of steps on each side. We add another row of planks and fences along the 2 front and back walls. And I'll go ahead and come up a little bit here so you can get the idea. Our next 7th layer here we're topping off that opening with oak planks going across, and we're doing a whole row of oak planks on each side. This is to kind of raise the roof a little bit so that we get that barnyard, typical barnyard roof line. And so instead of a step or a slab, you're going to do full planks all the way across. And I will go ahead and come up and pause here. The next 8th layer, we top that the plank with a row of steps, and then we also add the next layer across the front and back walls, and we add this little touch here. This kind of breaks up the that wall of planks so that it's not just complete wall of planks, but it adds a little window to the top of it. And so it steps on top of the planks on both sides with planks and a fence down the center, front and back. Let me come up right here. The next layer is the 9th layer of the roof line. We add another row of steps on each side. We add planks along the top. That adds that top of the roof. And I'll pause here. And then the 10th and 11th layers will be another row of steps on each side. We're going to have a solid row of oak logs, not just on the end, and then on top of that oak logs we're adding the slabs at the top to finish out the top of the roof line. So that's 2 rows of steps on each side, plus the log and the oak plank, and that finishes out our roof. That log makes a nice touch, so when you look up into it, it looks like a suspending log at the top for the roof line. Okay, now the last part here is just finishing touches on the inside. If you notice, on the inside of this is still quite open, and you can decide how to make this your own as far as like what you want to include. Is this going to be just for horses? Will this be for sheep or for cattle? Do you want it bigger? And that's up to you. But what's nice about this design, again, you can come out to the front and just expand on the roof line, and you can expand to the back if you want to make it bigger. I will put a list of all the resources you would need if you were doing this in survival at the end of the video, so you know exactly what you need to collect if you're trying to build this in survival mode. So this last part is just adding those specific touches. What I've done to the front and the back roof line is I've added additional upside down step under all these steps here. So you notice here the roof line is not as heavy, it kind of looks a little unfinished, and so I come and add upside down steps underneath here and then create that little upside down step area up there. I add trapdoors to the front and buttons to the end of the logs. Here I've added fences and a gate. This helps especially when you're bringing in animals, so that they don't get loose, or if they happen to get loose from a pen area, they're still within this barn area and they won't escape. Right here I built a tack room. Generally in barns you'll have some kind of storage room or room for equipment, and so that's what I've built here. It also, I can add the ladders going up to the second floor and to the loft area, and that's where I've added my maze of hail to make it look a little more realistic. So this area is an area for you to, you can also use this particular barn on your survival world as a place to do storage. So if you come up here and rather than putting hay, you can also put chest underneath here, and you can still open the chest because above the chest are steps, and you can open chests with a step above it. And so that also can give you a lot of storage space here if you decide to use this as your storage area in your build on your world. So I just added a crafting table, a storage chest, and furnace, just to have it convenient in case I need to do anything while I'm in here. So this is typically what you would do. You would have a horse stall, and so you have the gate going into that, and generally when horses are kept, they're kept in separate stalls. But in my Derpville world, I have sheep and cattle in here too. What I've done is I've opened this up so that it's open to this back pen area, and so I built this area, this pinned-in area in the back for sheep and cattle, and I hope to then tame a couple of horses and be able to put them in the horse stalls. But certainly, like I said, this is expandable, so you can continue to expand stalls this way as you collect more horses or for more cattle, or however you want to use this, or if it's a storage area and you want to have maybe your home in the front and then the stalls and towards the back, you can do that as well. And then in the middle here, I just added some gravel and some cobble, kind of like a broken up path, and you can certainly outfit it the way you want. And I put oak wood in my tack room. And that is my barnyard tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to see me do other build tutorials as well, please let me know and tell me what kind of builds you'd like me to do. I'd be happy to do that and create a tutorial for it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you try it out on your own world. And I thank you for watching.